Hello everybody. Today's the day. Today is the day where I am going to tell you my honest opinion on this Red Heart Granny Square all-in-one yarn. I have been playing with it for a few days, a couple days, 2 or 3 days, 3 days, I think. I've been playing with it for a few days, and I'm going to tell you my honest opinion. I'm going to tell you if I liked it or if I didn't like it. And then I'm going to show you some examples that I did and tell you the problems with those examples that I did. And then we're going to do an experiment. And the experiment is going to be, because of the problems that I did have, the experiment is going to be, is this yarn consistent? Meaning, okay, this is the center. This black color for this colorway is the center. Are all the blacks in this skein, are they all the same length? Are all the whites all the same length? The grays? We're going to go on because I had problems we'll talk about. But first, let's just get into the overall, all the important stuff of the yarn, the facts, the not the opinion part, the facts of the yarn. Okay, here it is. Here's the label. Here's the pattern that is included with this skein of yarn. And I don't know if it's on all of them, but on both skeins that I have, they're different colorways. This is the pattern they give you. That's the pattern. It's called Best Invest. Anyway, the colorway that I'm working with right here, this colorway, is called Soft White Shadow. And just going through the basics, it says one skein of this can make 14 granny squares. Okay, this is where the problem comes in. This doesn't tell you much, okay, in ways of being successful with this yarn. It tells you how to make this pattern. It tells you how to make a granny square. It does give you a pattern for a granny square. It even gives you a little, diagram graph or diagram on how to make the granny square. It gives you the written instructions, the pattern. But the problem I have with it is the pattern that they give you is a granny square pattern, but it's not a granny square pattern for this yarn. And what I mean by that is if you have a yarn that says you have this amount of color to make one round, you should be very distinctive on where to start, because it gets a little frustrating. Where you make your slip knot. Now I've seen videos here on YouTube where I didn't really watch the whole video. I just kind of like skimmed through it, and I can't remember what video it was, but someone said that they had made their slip knot like 4 inches from the end. So I tried that. That did not work for me. So you have to take it all apart, try a little less, a little more, a little less, whatever, to make it work out. And it was a bit frustrating, but I finally got it. And once I got it, then I was able to make that round, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be successful throughout the rest of this granny square. That was wrong, and let me tell you, I have some examples here for you. This is me following their pattern that's on the back of the label. As you can see, I am missing this much white, like the final round, the final border. I'm missing that much. I was that short. But I mean, the center worked out, and the center, like I said, I followed their pattern, which was a chain 4, slip stitch into the first chain to make a ring, and then crochet and chain, make your granny square. I came into a little problem right there. As you can see, I didn't have enough yarn to finish out the second round. And then I went on to the third round, and again, I ran into some problems, as you can see. And then the final round, I did not have enough to finish. It seems like once I started not having enough for this round, it kind of just got less and less each round I went. So that was me following their pattern, but I did not give up. Oh, no. I was like, let me try something different. So then I was like, let me try, instead of using the chain 4, let me do a magic ring. So I did a magic ring. Now this is how much tail I needed to do a magic ring to be successful with my first round so that my second round color matched up. This is how much tail I had with the chain 4. So anyways, back to it. it matched up fine. I got it. I did have to do it one or two or three times maybe. It took a couple tries to get the sweet spot in the yarn. But again, I messed up, or I didn't mess up. I ran out of the yarn that I needed. The second round, the third round, going on the third round, I ran out. I didn't have enough to finish my second round successfully. So again, it just kind of went downhill from there. And again, I was left with being that short of my white final round. I still did not give up this time. Oh, and I used the same, they recommend a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. I used that. But then I was like, no. So then I tried my way. I did a, let's see, this way. This one was a chain 4, small tail. It was a chain 4 and slip stitch into the first chain, but I did the granny square my way. Now, if you don't know how I do granny squares, a few videos back on my channel, there is a video, it's like Never Weave In Ends Again. That shows you how I make my granny squares. Much different than the pattern on the Red Heart label. So I tried it my way. And again, I used a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. And again, I had problems finishing my second round because you can see right there, I've run out of my gray yarn. And again, it all went downhill from there. But this time I was only this short because I do my granny squares different. I don't do a bunch of chains in between. I don't do many chains on my corners. So I had a little bit more yarn, but I still was not successful. But no, I did not give up. No, I went fourth. Now this one here, this one looks good, right? It does. This is the best one. And this is using a 6 millimeter crochet hook, magic ring. This is how long of a tail we have. Magic ring. It just doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. And it was all successful. Like, you can see the color transitions worked out perfect. But I noticed when I got to my final round, this white final round, I did not have enough yarn. I ran out. So I improvised and I did half double crochets in the granny square pattern around. So it doesn't look bad. It still looks cute and it does work. Again, finding the sweet spot where to start your center, your first round of your granny square was a bit challenging and it took a little bit. So there's that. But I have one more. This is a granny square my way. Again, magic ring. Here's how much of a tail I needed. Everything worked out good. Everything worked out perfect. The colors lined up. And I will tell you, it is a very satisfying feeling when the colors match up. It is. But when the colors don't match up, when you are constantly playing a game of yarn chicken. And that gives me anxiety. So I don't like it. But anyways, this round I did half double crochets because again, I did not have enough yarn to go all the way around for the fifth and final round. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5. So I just did a half double crochet solid border for this one, but it worked out. Again, it was a 6 millimeter crochet hook, not what that pattern called for. What I'm trying to say is I did not successfully make a granny square with this yarn. I had to improvise with these two. They look good, but I had to improvise. And these just did not work out. So I was unsuccessful. Not saying that you'll be unsuccessful, but I was. I don't think this yarn is for everybody. I think it's more of a gimmick than it is going to be something used regularly or purchased regularly. I think people are going to buy it once, do a project, and then kind of be over it. Because honestly, for me, I could switch colors quicker than doing this. Because I'm not constantly ripping out my work and trying to redo it to make it match up and work. That's all I'm saying. I think about the people who go into these craft stores and maybe they don't have access to internet. How are they're going to go home and they're going to get this label and they're going to try this and it's not going to work out for them. And I feel bad for that. So, but I know not having the internet these days is very, very rare, but still. But now we're going to do an experiment. Because of the problems I had, especially that final round of problems, the white border, we are going to measure these out. Not measure them out, but I'm going to take all the black and I'm going to cut it And we're going to see if they all line up. We're going to do it for 2. So we're going to do enough yarn for 2 of the granny squares and see if they match up. See if they're giving us the same amount of color, because that's got to be hard, right? Anyway, here is the transition. Here's the black. Okay, so here's our black. This is how much yarn they give you to make a center. This is second round. Okay, here's our second round color. We're just gonna cut. This is how much. I just cut that, and we're not gonna get a knot. We are not gonna get a knot. No, we're not. No, we're not. We're not. We already got a knot. I lied. That's okay though, because, you know, knots happen. I don't know how it happened that quick, but it did. It happened. Okay. Now we're not free. Okay. This is only our second round. Oh my gosh. Let's hope we don't get any more knots. Okay. Here's our third color, the cream color. And that's going to transition into the white. Or the dark gray, I mean. The gray, light gray. Here's our tan color, our cream color, whatever you want to call it. Here's the gray. I'm so curious to see if this is the problem that I am so unsuccessful. Let me fix the camera. You know, you gotta film with your phone. You got scissors going everywhere. It's so real. Okay, let's see. Here's our white. Now, the hard part about this is seeing where it transitions. So what I'm going to do is fold it over on itself to see the color difference. And there it is. I found it. Okay. So here's our gray. And then here's our white. Now this is the round, like I said, that I had the most problems with. Oh, and I was going to tell you that after we're done doing this little experiment to see if they're lying to us or not, or if I just can't make a dang old granny square, I'm going to show you what else I made with the other skein of yarn that I had. So, okay, here's our white. So we have all rounds here. Now we're going to do it again. And take our black. This is our center. We're going to cut it. Oops. Okay, now let's measure it and see if they are the same. Okay, so here they're lined up. And we will see no knots. Okay, this is a little off. That is an inch off. So not a big deal, but I mean, that's enough for a slip stitch, which, I mean, it could all go downhill from there. And here's the other end, just so you guys know that I'm not, there's our other end. Oh, hold on, let me line that up better. I mean, I don't know if this isn't like an exact experiment, like, I'm not gonna be writing no paper on it by no means, but okay. So it's that far off. I mean, it's not, I don't think that big of a deal, but still, you never know when it comes to this stuff, because it is a little frustrating. Let me know in the comments if you guys have bought this yarn, if you like it. Okay. Let me do this end here, because that's the other end. Okay. So there it is, lined up. Hold it tight. No knots. No knots. No knots. We're just going to see if they line up. Okay, and these line up pretty good. Not too far off. A little bit, but not too bad. And there is a little bit of yellow here, but there's also a little bit of yellow on that one. But it's not horrible. It's not, I don't think, a make it or break it, but I don't really know. Let's try our cream color. Okay, our pink color. This is kind of a little boring, isn't it? I'm sorry if you guys are bored. If you're bored, just skip it. I thought this would be interesting, though, to see if... I mean, I'm interested to know. Thought maybe you guys would be interested to know. I don't know. Okay, they're lined up. Let's see. Let's see if they line up. No knots. Come on. No knots. Again, it's a little off. A little bit. I don't know if that matters, but I can tell you that I think it's just too inconsistent, maybe? Or just maybe I can't do it. I don't know. I just don't like the yarn. There, I said it. I don't like it. I don't care. I don't like it. I don't like it. I tried it. I'm sorry. Okay, here's our gray. Let me find the end of our gray. Okay, gray and gray. Okay, here's our gray. Let's see. I'm just being honest. Okay, that's a bit of a problem, right? Like, that could at least be, what? That could be at least one double crochet, maybe half a one. I don't know, but that is definitely going to screw you up a little bit when finishing that round. So that could happen. The one I'm most, honestly, the one I am most curious about is the white, because that's where I had the most problems. Like, I didn't even have enough yarn to finish like a whole side practically. So let's see how this one works. Okay, so we have our white. Okay, here we are. Let's see if we can see if this one's off. Oh no, this might be a dumb experiment. I'm sure there's a better way to measure this, but I don't know it. Just as long as we don't get no knots. I'll be happy if we don't get no knots. Don't knot. Please don't knot. We're so close. Don't knot. Don't knot. Don't do it. Don't do it. Damn it. It did it. It knotted. Fun. That's all right. We'll remeasure. Okay. So this one looks like it ends up pretty good. Right there. But you have to think, if the row before it, like if the color before it is off and you have to dip into some of this white to finish off the previous round, that could throw off your color. No, white is pretty good. Like, that's pretty good. I'd say that's even. So the white is even. Maybe it's the other colors, and maybe it's just not consistent throughout. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, if it even matters at this point. I don't know. But I did make some other things because I have all this yarn, and, well, I don't want to make granny squares with it because I can't do it. So I made other things. I did some examples. If you want to knit it in garter stitch, this is what it would look like. Of course, if you made it wider, your rows would be a little thinner, but this was the center, second round, third round, fourth round, fifth round. So that's what it looks like in the garter stitch, knit up. And this is what I used. I used this colorway to do my little samples of different things. And this colorway is called Black Dove. I like this color. And then I did the moss stitch. You guys wanted to make a little scarf with the moss stitch. It's not too bad. It looks like a nice little striped little scarf or pattern. It's not bad. Then I wanted to see what it looked like if you did a circle. I don't know what you would do with this, but hey, I wanted to see if it worked out. And actually, surprisingly, the circle did work out better than the granny square for me, actually. So, whatever. And then I made a hat. This is what the hat would look like. I don't look good in hats, but it's a hat. It keeps you warm. But yeah, so I made a hat. So that's what I did with my yarn. Okay, so overall, I really don't like using this yarn for granny squares because I can't do it. I'm not successful. And I'm not saying you wouldn't be successful or that other people aren't successful doing it, but I think it's more of a hassle than it's worth because like I said, I think I could make a granny square with different skeins of yarn quicker and faster and more enjoyable because I wouldn't be so stressed out of not having enough yarn and then having to rip it out and then start over. So I don't like it. I think it's a gimmicky. I'm not trying to be rude to Red Heart. I love Red Heart. I really do. But I don't think people are going to be going back often for this yarn. I won't be. So that was today's video. And that's all I really had to say about it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you haven't already subscribed, why not? No, I'm joking. But you should because, well, I'm weird, I'm awkward, and I'm inconsistent. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to say today. So remember, no editing, and I don't even care. So talk to you guys later. Bye.